Welcome back to the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. This is Raw is Retro. I'm your host, Ross, and with me, as ever, is Lord Manny Hayes, a.k.a. Thirst Trapper Jones.
Yes, Thirst Trapper Jones.
The man with all the clickbait. If you do want some clickbait, come and see Manny. He's got it for you since I was
the Lord of Thirst Traps. If Undertaker can be the Lord of Darkness, I am the Lord of Thirst Traps.
The Lord of Thirst Traps. I love it. We are here to talk about Raw is Retro. Raw is War from 1998. It's the 9th of March as we are watching. And we're on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania 14 is just 3 weeks away.
X-rated WrestleMania 14.
X-rated WrestleMania. I don't remember it being too X-rated, to be honest. No. But I have only watched it once in my entire life, so I'm looking forward to when we watch it again.
I've watched it multiple times.
Is it that X-rated?
No, I had it on VHS. It was probably one of the first VHS WWF events I owned, because a lot of them would come from the video shop. So, I think this was the first one I owned.
Well, the first one I had was the Survivor Series, and I can't remember what year it was, but it had a 10 tag team Survivor Series match. So there was 20 men around the ring. Is that right? No, 5 teams of 2.
What?
Versus 5 teams. 5 tag teams versus 5 tag teams. How many people is that? 20.
20.
Yeah. You couldn't see anything. There was just men everywhere, all on the outside of the ring. It was dreadful wrestling, but it was good fun. It was my first one I had. It was in a purple box. Purple Survivor Series.
I wasn't all of them in purple, though. Like I remember...
Been,
I think I remember all the WrestleMania ones because my cousin had them.
Yeah.
Were all purple boxes. And then I remember WrestleMania 3, or was it 4, was a double VHS.
It was the big box. Oh, I need to find out what year that was, but I'll do that after the show. Let's get on with Raw is Retro. We start off tonight with a tag match. Shamrock and Blackman, the Ultimate Fighting Tag Team versus The Rock and Farouk. What could possibly go wrong between The Rock and Farouk?
I don't understand why this wasn't more of a thing, Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman. It just felt like it fitted. Yeah,
they like belong together almost at this point.
Yeah.
They're taking on the Nation of Domination, The Rock and Farouk, the leaders of the NOD, I suppose. We're not sure who is
and then The Rock just leaves.
The
Rock just like, I'm done.
I do love The Rock. He's so good at this. You see the People's Elbow before it kind of fully becomes the People's Elbow?
Yeah.
It's not quite there, but he's on the road to it. It looks pretty good.
I also remember in a Royal Rumble where he hit a rock bottom, and I think it was the 96 or 97 one, and someone called it the rock bottom, and it just didn't. It was like it just didn't feel like it was the rock bottom yet.
Right.
It wasn't like the way he would hit it now, and then you would sell it like it was the greatest thing ever.
Yeah, just a move that happened in a Rumble. Yeah. This match doesn't finish. As always, it's a DQ finish because all of the Nation of Domination jump in the ring and beat up. The Rock sends the rest of them away, though, so he can beat Shamrock up on his own.
Yeah. And then Farouk, when The Rock needs help, says no.
Nah, you're on your own, mate. Ken snaps, as Ken does, and puts Rock in the ankle lock on the floor. But no one helps him. They just stand there and watch him. We get a DX bit to remind us that WrestleMania will be X-rated and that Tyson's part of DX now.
Yeah, surprisingly, I thought they would milk this a lot more. Like Tyson and Austin, like all those weeks ago. I thought they would milk the hell out of this, but they didn't.
That's it. Yeah, this is one little thing today. Yeah, it's I don't know. It just feels like they're missing steps with this on the road to WrestleMania. It feels like it should be more of a thing. Like it doesn't seem that huge. I don't know if it's because we're watching back.
I think it is because we're watching back, but it's also like when you look back at all the other ones in around this time, I think this was when they realized they need to do a lot more going into WrestleMania. Because I remember, like, if you go back to watching the last, if you were to ever to go back, I would suggest you don't go back to the last few weeks of Raw leading into previous Manias like 13, 12. It's very lackluster. Because like they had the assumption that these people were going to buy this anyway, where like before, where wrestling was booming, so they knew people were going to buy it and watch it. Whereas now you have to do a greater deal to sell something to someone to watch. Like, I don't even feel like you have to with the way the current WWE setup is. I feel like AEW have to do it should have to do it a lot more because you have to physically pay $60 or however much it is in the UK to watch it. But like now with the setup, it feels like you don't have to because you're kind of already in that ecosystem. Like if you do pay $10 a month for Peacock or £10 a month for WWE Network, you're kind of there.
You get it. It's not. It's not a thing, is it anymore? Like, yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Because it's like, I guess I'll watch it.
Exactly. It's on. It's fine. That's what I felt about the Rumble. Rumble used to be really like a big thing. Like, it's my favorite pay-per-view of the year, Rumble.
No, thing is though, like I went into this year's one going, I really want to watch this because like there was no real thing. So you thought something special bound to happen because there was nothing on it to go. Okay.
No.
Outside Roman
and
Seth and Bobby and Lesnar.
Yeah.
There was nothing really there pulling me in to go, okay, let's watch this. Other than we were doing it for the live stream. But you thought there was going to be something special going in it, other than just Mickie James being the Forbidden Door one.
Yeah.
But there wasn't. And then that's why it felt disappointing because I raised the bar for no reason. If I kept the bar low, I would have been fine with it.
I think they can get away with that though, because of the point you just mentioned that we're not paying tons of money for it anymore. We're paying a cheap amounts. They don't have to go all out. Like they'll go all out of Mania, but the rest of the year they can kind of coast knowing that they've already got that.
Yeah, that's why I feel like
base.
AEW do put on great pay-per-views, but their build sometimes is a bit
Yeah.
But they always deliver on pay-per-view and
because they have to.
Because you've paid $60 to watch it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a very good point. I never actually thought about that, but it is a really good point. We get a European Championship match. Owen just defending this belt every week. He's taking on Barry Windham this week.
It's their TV title.
It is, effectively. Yeah. It's what the 24/7 title should become now. It should be a TV title that's defended every week. I will die on this hill. It's not a bad match, actually. Windham and Owen Hart put on a decent match for 5 odd minutes. Obviously, it ends without a result. It's a count out this time.
Yeah.
Because China interferes again.
Yeah, China is effective. Doesn't get her credit as a valet. Doesn't.
No.
She wasn't even really a valet. She's
an
enforcer.
Yeah, she is an enforcer for Triple H. She's the muscle for Triple H. Owen, again, doing a lot of work here because Wyndham's not in the greatest of ring shape.
Yeah, he wasn't ever.
No, he's always a big fella.
Yeah.
Bradshaw comes out, obviously, beats up Windham because this is going to run forever, I think.
Yeah, but I like Bradshaw in this era.
So do I. It just looks like a monster.
And that clothesline from hell, even though it wasn't called the clothesline from hell at that point, looks more deadly than it was in his later run as JBL.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's throwing that arm into people.
And I think it's, again, the 4x3 because he is huge.
He is absolutely
He's a big boy.
He looks like Kane at this point.
He is a big boy just throwing that weight into that clothesline.
We get Lawler interviewing Kane and Bearer backstage. He's a bit scared, which fair enough. Lawler's not having a great time throughout this interview, is he?
No, and then they recap about Vader. What they've done to Vader.
Yeah. Poor Vader. He's nowhere to be seen since No Way Out. He's disappeared. Then we get Lawler's boy with Lawler versus Aguirre with Taka Michinoku. A good match, as always. A good match, but again, a DQ finish.
I learned Aguila is 19.
Is he?
Yeah, at this point, 19,
Jesus.
And it's incredible. And then I did end up going to watch future episodes of Raw.
Yeah.
I saw that advert, the commercial, not the commercial. It's like where all the old timers like Gorilla Monsoon, Freddie Classy, Freddie Blassie. They were all talking about how the new generation are like high flyers and how they couldn't do that. And like, don't try this at home. But it was like, that was the one when we both felt it was weird why Sonny at the opening one of the episodes of Raw was singing "Happy Birthday" like Marilyn Monroe to Freddie Blassie. It was like, then I was like, oh, they were very high on Freddie Blassie at this point, like as a legend.
I think he does a lot of the promo bits for like the start of pay-per-views.
Yeah,
I think he did them for a long time because he had that voice, which is really good. And then they discovered Keith David, and then it was over for Freddie. Like.
Do you know what I do need them to bring back though?
Yeah,
there's just like this violin music they had. Like it was like definitely of the era of NFL films when they have NFL films have that specific music that get you hyped when you're watching like something on NFL films. But WWF at the time had these incredible video packages, but they had like amazing like theatrical music behind some of this stuff, and it was like incredible. Like go back and listen to it. The violin one, and when they're doing something impactful, like when Shawn Michaels got powerbombed 6 times by Sid, and his comeback, that music is incredible.
You can make even the smallest of feuds. You could put us over Brian Christopher attacking Michinoku thing and make it just seem epic with that music on it. It works so well. This match ends with a DQ after Lawler gets involved. We've had 15 minutes of wrestling in the first hour of Raw, which is, I mean, that's probably pretty good.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah.
That's quite a lot for what? The opening of Raw is what, 45 minutes, excluding adverts? So half an hour of nonsense.
That's about right. We've had 3 matches. Not one of them's finished properly. We've had 2 DQs and a count out, but that's all right. It's fine.
Win by any means necessary.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed this match though. I always enjoy watching Brian Christopher. I think I underrated him myself basically throughout the rest of his career.
It's because of Too Cool. That Too Cool stuff, it doesn't require you to do much.
No, exactly. You're just a comedy tag team act, but the fact that he can do this stuff is really, really good.
Yeah.
And putting him in with some of these best young guys from like Mexico and around the world, he holds his own.
Yeah.
Feel bad for how it kind of ended up for him, but never mind. Austin's in the building. He seems a bit annoyed, but Tyson has been called the baddest man on the planet by Vince, isn't he?
It was a figure of speech. I just loved the way he tried to deliver that.
I do like this bit. Austin's basically holding them all hostage. Slaughter, Briscoe.
I would never afraid of Slaughter when he was the commissioner. I would never be afraid of him.
Oh, just this big roly-poly granddad walking around with a mustache. You got Blackjack Lanza as well there. Yeah, Austin's not a happy boy. That's the end of the Royals War. We're into the war zone now, and we carry on from where we left off, basically. Austin's just says he's just going to beat up everyone. If he gets to the ring tonight, he just wants to beat people up, which after what happened to him last week just makes sense. I like that storytelling. It's good. It's good continuity. That's a word, not the other one I said.
I mean, we make up words all the time. They're only letters, Ross. Don't let them control you.
Exactly. I put whatever order I want. I'm great on countdown. Next, we get Manny's boys, the Quebecers, taking on Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus Jack. We get a 5-minute match with an actual finish.
This is the end of the Quebecers' good run of wins.
They're 3 out of 5 at this point.
I mean, I still like them, and they are 3-time former WWF Tag Team Champions. So put respect on the Quebecers' names.
Funk tries a moonsault and misses. That's kind of my highlight of the match. A man that old should not be doing that move with that outcome. Someone needs to catch him.
He was what, 50 or 60 at this point?
Yeah, late 50s, early 60s. He'd still go on for another 10, 50. He's probably still wrestling now, to be honest. He's mid to late 70s.
He's still on a retirement run.
I'm still amazed at the moves that Pierre can do. He whips out Hurricane Rana in one of these matches to catch
and he's a thick boy.
He's a big fella. Like, I appreciate the work he puts in.
Yeah, Pierre was really good. And he's still good. I just don't watch. I don't have enough time to watch his other work in ROH, and I think he's an Impact as well. I think
Is he?
I could be wrong, but yeah, he's still going around with his can't remember the name he's using either. But like,
I forget he's quite young at this point. He's in like his early 20s.
Yeah, so it's just like it's like I don't have enough time to appreciate other wrestling going around.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, that match finishes. The Chainsaw Charlie and Cactus win. Yeah, double on DDT for the win, and then the Outlaws come out.
Your boys are injured.
Boy, Billy.
Your boys are injured.
Yes, apparently. Road Dogg's got his arm in a sling. So I can't go over how the Billy Gunn is like 62 or 63 now in real life, like in current times. Like the fact that he would have been in his early 40s at this point.
That's late 30s.
Late 30s, yeah, I suppose, yeah, really late 30s. Like me, was 38 this week, so yeah, fair enough. I'm about as old as Billy Gunn was in 98. Depressive.
Yeah, I would never be in the shape Billy Gunn was in at that age.
No. I could work out every day till I am Billy Gunn's real age, and I'd never get to the shape that Billy's in now. It's it's good. I like the fact that these two are still going at it every week, and we're going to get their match at Mania, which is a good one.
Yeah.
Kane comes down to the ring. Talk about the Undertaker. I don't know. I like all the magic stuff. I just don't like them fighting. Like, I'm already bored of Kane versus Undertaker. It's not even happened yet.
I'm not even a fan of this run. I was more a fan of when it led to the Highway to Hell, which is later on in the year, where it's Undertaker versus Steve Austin, and then Kane's involvement, and then that was more interesting than what's going on now.
I like the Mania 20 stuff. That was kind of the peak of Kane Taker for me. Like
it's interesting because you don't know much about Kane at this point.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. They're going to have a match in 20 days' time at WrestleMania. Brilliant. We get Goldust versus Mark Marrow now. Marrow. I don't know. I always say it wrong. But we get another match that goes 5.5 minutes. They're putting in the work this week.
Yeah, and then Luna and Sable are handcuffed around the ring post, which is more funny than ever. It's the most stupidest thing ever, but it worked.
Yeah. Until Goldust unlocks Luna, doesn't he? And Luna goes just drawing on Sable's face.
Yeah.
Sable starts to look like the missing link when the ref comes down and escorts Luna away. Is one of the things I've just read on the website. The most unattractive thing about Sable here is how mad she gets and her voice. Good grief.
Sable. Nobody's good unless you've watched this. Nobody's going to get this reference. But Sable's face started to resemble old Greg from the Mighty Boosh. And if you haven't watched that, just type in old Greg. I'm old Greg.
I haven't watched the Boosh in years. Oh my god!
And that is the most English thing we've said in this episode.
Yeah, that's very niche. Like already a very niche British comedy that half of Britain's not watched. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. It's fucking brilliant. Or listen to the audio tapes I used to do as well. That's so good as well. There's a challenge. Goldust and Luna challenge Mark Marrow and Sable for a match at WrestleMania 14, which we do get. The celebrities at WrestleMania 14 are Jennifer Flowers, Mike Tyson, and Pete Rose. I wonder if we'll see Pete Rose get tombstoned. Again,
Pete Rose?
No idea.
Who is this appealing to? Like,
I don't watch baseball. I don't like baseball.
No, I knew he was a baseball legend from what they said, and he did stuff. But who is this appealing to?
Yeah, because he must have been from what, the 70s? Probably around that.
I'm guessing the 80s.
Right. So even if he's in the 80s, like that generation of fans, they're like you said last week, in their 40s. Like they at least Pete Rose fans. And are you a fan of an individual player that much that at WrestleMania it's going to be a big draw?
Okay, so he started his career at the Cincinnati Reds in 1963. Right.
Yeah.
And it ended in 1986.
So 12 years previous to this Raw, he retired 12 years ago.
Why?
We don't get a video package showing Mike Tyson's last kind of 6 weeks or how long he's been mixed in with the WWE, and it gets sweetened because there's a lot of booze in the real arenas for Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
We don't get a Tyson interview with JR. He, like you said last week, he's just a bit awkward, but he's just very happy to be involved in this, isn't he? He just loves wrestling so much.
I'd be happy too with the amount of money Vince has probably paid me to go be there.
Yeah, I can't remember the exact number, but it was in the millions, wasn't it? I think.
Yeah, and like you got to think if that was 2 million, then Vince would have probably given him a lot of, like, in this day and age, 10.
Oh, Christ, yeah. What did he have to give Sean to come out of retirement? Like, it was about 12 million, wasn't it? Reported.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, and that's for an actual wrestler in his own company who was still under contract. Like,
and
to get.
Like, so we're dating this again, but like, so there's talk about Steve Austin coming back.
Yeah.
For WrestleMania. It's probably been announced now.
Yeah.
Or whatever. But the money's too good at this point, especially with like the Saudi money coming in, the Peacock deal money, the Fox money. The money's too good.
Billions every year.
The money's too good for like someone of Steve Austin who's retired to just go, do you know what? I can't say no.
Yeah. 5 minutes work for $10 million.
Yeah.
Sure. Kevin Owens will do all the work.
But like, I'm telling you now, I said it to Marcus. I hear that glass break in 2022. I'm turning into the person that was in 1998.
Yeah.
I will be that kid in 1998 that was watching this.
100%. I've got my Austin t-shirt on right now. Like, I'm ready to go for an
Austin
return.
I have a King of the Ring Austin shirt with the promo on the back.
Nice. And I was never an Austin guy. Like, back in the day, he was never my favourite. Like, I always liked other guys. I was always Undertaker or Rock or Triple H or those sort of guys. But like, I appreciate what he did for wrestling. Like, if Kevin Owens is in the ring cutting a promo on Raw next week and Austin comes out, like, fucking hell. It's going to be mental.
I'm going to have to put an edit on here with like, we're talking about this as of the 19th of February.
Yeah, just flash it across the screen.
Just in case people think we're talking crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, so yeah, back to it. We have the video package and Triple H takes on Savio Vega, which is weird because I thought they were kind of friends.
No. This is just a heel. This is just heel con. Basically, like, all the heels will get together to beat up a common enemy.
Yeah,
but they still don't dislike each other.
No, they're still heels at this point. Yeah, it's kind of already weekend to the show. Austin just stuns everyone, doesn't he? Basically,
yeah, that's basically what happened.
Referees, Savio Vega, anyone who's around him, he just stuns them. He gets another switch in music, and DX celebrate as the show goes off the air. Like,
yeah, this is kind of how this was the kind of what was it? The way they booked into WrestleMania. They'd always make the number one contender seem very weak.
Yeah,
going into it.
Just
and then obviously, but then it became really obvious who was going to win.
Yeah, if you make both guys look strong heading into it, there's a bit of kind of, I don't know. But yeah, this guy's been beaten down for 4 weeks. Obviously, he's going to win the belt of the big one. Like, yeah, it's odd booking, which they still do now, to be honest.
Yeah,
if you win that Money in the Bank briefcase, you're losing for the next 6 months until you win a title.
Yeah, just to make it seem like it's a big, huge thing.
Yeah. I don't know. That's it. That's that episode of Raw. Again, it just flew by. It's just really weird booking. It's an odd run into Mania. But what was your match of the night, Manny? There's some actually good ones to choose from this week.
There was. I'm going to give it to Lawler's boy, Brian Christopher versus Aguila.
Yeah, definitely with you there. It's a really good match. It's a shame there was no finish, and it's a shame they don't get a little bit more time. Like 10 minutes with this, I'll be all over that. It'd be great.
Yeah.
Your MVP for the night? I'm going for The Rock.
I'm going Luna.
Loved. Ah, nice.
I'm going Luna.
We might have to keep a tally of these, like everyone's match of the nights and stuff, of the MVPs. I'll go back through them next week.
This is the closest thing we're getting to Bob Ross in 2022.
You can draw a happy little clown on her face.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Definitely
That episode of Raw is retro. We are 2 weeks away from WrestleMania 14 when we're almost into the full Austin era. Here we go with our plugs. You can find us on the Sharpshooters Network on Twitter. You can find us on YouTube at the Sharpshooters. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and every other social media. We're on Tinder somewhere. It's probably Marcus's profile. We're all over everything.
like a rash.
Like a rash. We're all over you. There's no ointment. Just subscribe. That's the only way to soothe the Sharpshooters rash. Subscribe, like, share, do all that stuff. We will be back next week with another episode of Raw. Till then, bye.
Bye.